Sasa has no brain. Come to think of it, which animal with brain will agree to follow me back to your palace after your failed attempt to kill it the first time? This justifies why I am saying Sasa has no brain. Welcome to Motion Inspiration. My name is Abdulaziz Issa. In this video, I'm going to share a very interesting story with you. This story is by Dadinkai Mohammed Ibn Tawfik, so I give him the credit. This book is called Sasa Has No Brain, and the book, apart from the inspirational message and story, it also contains more than 100 African proverbs, which I shall be revealing some in this video. So kindly watch the video to the end, inspired by the content, and also get a lot of African proverbs. Please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, and give me a like, and let's continue. Long ago in animal kingdom, famine befell all the animals in the kingdom. So hunger and thirst were rare, and all animals were suffering. Ironically, Anansi, the weakest yet wisest animal in the kingdom, was the only animal who was not suffering from the famine and the thirst, for he has his own ways. This kingdom was ruled by King Lion, and King Lion was very old and weak and became incapacitated to hunt for meat himself. And this made himself and the family to starve always. King Lion pondered about this matter and finally arrived at a master plan. He came to understanding that sometimes one has to swallow his pride in the name of survival. He thought that he should request the service of Anansi. So, King Lion sent the palace messenger, Okuku, to summon Anansi to the palace. Okuku summoned Anansi to the palace, and the king addresses Anansi, and he says, Anansi, I have invited you here for a very important discussion. Are you ready to listen? And Anansi said, of course, yes. One may refuse to do what he is asked to do, but not to be asked. I'm all ears. And King Lion said, you know that I am of age now. I am weak and I am unable to hunt for meat. I want to appoint you as the palace secretary, and your duty is to always make sure that myself and my family always get enough meat and water, just as your own home. And to return that favor, I am going to place a monthly salary of 100 cowries. And you know what? To whom much is given, much is expected. And I know you can do it. After all, a candle loses nothing by lighting up other candles. And Anansi said, Your Majesty, looking at your request, I am baffled, yet honored. The one appointed to guide the village dam must not complain of thirst. I am confused because how can I be the provider of food to the owner of all foods? Even apart from that, what can I do to your satisfaction? After all, the eye that has seen the ocean may not have respect for the river. And the king said, King Lion said, I understand you, Anansi. But don't forget the popular maxim that a razor blade may be sharper than the cutlass, yet it cannot cut down a tree. I know you can do it, and that is why I call you. And if you think you are too small to make an impact, then try sleeping in a room with a mosquito. So please, give me that service and kiss poverty goodbye. Then Anansi said, when a diplomat says yes, he means perhaps. When he says perhaps, he means no. But when a diplomat says no, he's not really a diplomat. I will say yes, but I am not promising anything for now. After all, a wise man does not determine the depth of a water with both of his feet. So after this meeting, Anansi went back home to ponder about the request of the king. And he finally came to the conclusion that he stands to gain in the entire game. And he said to himself, I will not only be held at a high esteem, but it also helped me to do more of my trick and to win. And to say it all, the pay is good. So Anansi accepted the king's request. And he successfully served the king for 6 good months. And within that month, the king and his entire household were feasting like people of the above. They always had food in abundance, meat and water. And everywhere was joy. But joy has a slender body that breaks too soon. After the 6 months, the animals in the kingdom were becoming wiser. Yet they were worried about the constant death of their colleagues. So the animals in the kingdom had a meeting to deliberate on the issue. Now, they are at the meeting, and Rabbit was called to introduce the chairperson of the meeting. And here, I'm going to share a very interesting and motivational way of introducing chairpersons, which learners can easily pick up. Indeed, it has helped me in my journey. Rabbit began and said, I am very honored to be called upon to introduce the chairperson for today's memorable occasion. We all know that a meeting of such caliber needs someone with the integrity to steer its affairs to the successful end. We all gathered here have the potential to serve as the chairpersons. But because 2 competent drivers cannot drive a vehicle at the same time, just as 2 bulls cannot drink water in the pot at the same time, they lock horns. There's the need to select an appropriate person. The person who has the integrity to steer its affairs to a successful end. And looking at around, our chairperson is no any other person but Honorable Reno. This is an individual who is concomitantly endowed by nature with all the gentlemanly qualities and experiences, vivaciousness, moral uprightness, enthusiasm, sagacity, and changly belief. And above all, this individual has chalked more successes in the arena of leadership. It is therefore my fervent belief and my strongest conviction that under his chairmanship, we shall see the limelight of this gathering. Now, Mr. Chairman, your audience. Audience, your chairman. Thank you. This was quickly followed by the acceptance speech of Reno. And Reno said, good day. We are all gathered here for a very important discussion. I will not serve as a bore, repeating exactly why we are here to waste much time. We all know that King Lion is now very weak and always indoors. But even though it is not the duty of the cockroach to ask the cock why it has not been crowing, but we all know that he now has a secretary who tricked and lured our qualities to the king. We are gathered here to look at the way forward to end the continued death. But if you also blame the rat for stealing your meat, you must equally blame your meat for smelling. This trick has been going on for long, but we still have our qualities who fall victim to that. Indeed, the world is like a piano. What you press is what you hear. Just after his introduction, Gorilla said, "Thank you, your chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You have just stolen the words from my mouth. Indeed, those who are killed deserve no lives. We need to wisen up." And then the chairman said, "That is true. But don't forget that if the second wife rejoices over the beating of the first wife, the same beatings await her when the third one arrives. They are our qualities, and we have to protect each other." So I ask before all of you, what should we do now? The monkey also said that let us build a cordial relationship between ourselves and Anasi so that he will not only protect us from the king, but he will also provide us with food and water. After all, the barrier of the rich is more colorful than the wedding of the poor. Then after this, chimpanzee also said, "Monkey, until today, I always think that too much banana will make you a little bit beyond your nose. To have the king on one side and Anansi on the other side cannot work. I said no to that." Have you forgotten the saying that a dog with two masters usually die of hunger? So I suggest that we build a cordial relationship with the king rather, because I understand he's very weak and will die soon. And after all, the best time to reconcile with the enemy is when the enemy's house is on fire. The hyena said, "It is obvious that common sense is not common to the common people. Let me advise you, you ugly chimpanzee. When a centipede loses one of its legs, it does not become a cripple. King Lion becoming weak does not prevent him from killing us. And remember, a bird whose feathers are loved by people must not fly close to the ground. I suggest that we kill both of them." And then Zebra said, "Let's not eat with shovels just because we cannot find a spoon." To kill Anansi and leave King Lion, the problem has not solved. But before he landed, Hyena came back again and said, "You, Zebra, I think you need an ear cleaner. You are suffering from hearing impairment." I said, "Let's kill both of them. Let's not be coward." And the Zebra said again, "It's rather you who needs psychiatric attendance. Have I finished making my statement? Now tell me, if bailing the cats in the kingdom of the mice is what will save the lives of the mice, the question is, who will bail the cat? I ask you, who is going to kill King Lion?" I know you are coward. Don't push us to start what we cannot finish. And if the world leader tells you that you must fight until the last person in the battlefield, remember, he is also the last person standing in the midst of his people. Tortoise requested to speak, and Donkey told him, "Shut up, my friend, and let's listen to people with wisdom and common sense." And Tortoise said, "But I have not said what I wanted to say." And then Donkey said, "Yes, don't say anything because no good farmer will expect bumper harvest from a poor soil. Your silence is better than your speech." And then the chairman, Reno, told him that he should let him speak. And then, "Thank you. It beats my intelligence that at this time of the meeting, we arrive at consensus. Let me remind you that let us not stand in the rain to cry, for no one will see our tears. And don't forget that for the people because of whom we are gathered here, have friends and associates among us. So, the best solution is we should all be wising up and let's not always fall into the corpuscles of anarchy." When he said this, and the donkey said, "This is the first time you have ever said a sensible thing in your life." And then Tortoise said, "I have received enough nonsense from you that can last me for a month. Patience, they say, is like a piece of an elastic which stretch, but only to a point. Beyond that point, it breaks. My patience is reaching its limit." And then the chairman came in and said that the two of you must iron up your differences and learn how to live like brothers. And he said, "I agree with Tortoise. Let's all be wising up. We should never fall victim of the tricks of anarchy. Let's all be aware of the tricks of anarchy." Just when he was giving his closing remarks, he sighted Okuku, the royal messenger, at a far away coming, and the meeting was quickly dissolved. This meeting brought more difficulty upon difficulties to anarchy to convince animals to the king and the family. And this made the king and the entire household to spend 3 good days without food. Anansi was very worried about this development, and he was at his home thinking about what to do. He had multi-flash ideas going around his mind, which he did not even know which one to utilize. And he was thinking about leaving the country or leaving the village to a hideout to avoid the wrath of King Lion. Just when he was thinking about this, he had a tap on his shoulder, and out of fright, Anansi urinated in his pants. And to his surprise, it was Okuku, the royal messenger. And Okuku told him, "The king summoned you in the palace now." And out of fear, Anansi left with the messenger without shirt or slippers. Without shirt or slippers. And on his way to the chief palace, he succeeded in reciting the 99 names of Allah in 11 different languages for his safety. When he got there, the king addresses him. And the king said, "There is no gainsaying that success has many fathers, but failure is an orphan. You are the one person I trust in this community. Your level of understanding is perfect, and your contribution to my family is one of the reasons I'm still being alive. But upon all, you fall, when you fall short of the king's expectation, you must be brought to book. And Anasi said, Your Majesty, take it easy. I am trying. It is just that the animals are wising up and they begin to understand my tricks. And the king said, Shut up. When the birds learn how to fly without perching, you, the hunter, must also learn to shoot without missing. And Nasi said, Be patient, Your Majesty. You know it is a 50-50 game. I serve you and I'm well paid. So I myself, so be patient. Don't forget that a person full of pride may not have room for wisdom. Then the king got annoyed and said, Are you referring to me? That is why our elders say that the tortoise excretes in the hand of the one carrying it. If not because you have no flesh, I would have thrown away not even your bone. Now listen to me, you idiot. You have 24 hours to make provision for my household. If not, you will say goodbye to this world. And just when Anasi was about to leave the palace, one of the calf approached him and said, I want to go with you. And Anasi said, You cannot go with me. You will ruin my plan because a man accused of stealing a goat must not entertain his guest with a goat meat. Following me will ruin my plans. And the calf said, I understand. Allow me to follow you so that when you fail with your tricks, I can use force. And Anasi said, My brother, it can't work. Don't forget that the more possession of hammer in your hand doesn't make you a carpenter. So, let me go and do my job. Because you cannot hunt, you don't know the technical know-how. And the calf said, I understand, but train me. You can train me to hunt. And Anasi said, Yes, but don't forget that you cannot pick up and train a dog on a hunting day. A day training cannot make you a professional. And then the calf was insisting. And then King Lion came in and told the calf, My friend, take it from me and listen to people with wisdom. Allow Anasi to go. Look, even though the new broom sweeps well, but the old one knows the corners. Allow him to go. And he turned to Anasi and told him, And don't forget, you Anasi, that if you decide to kick every dog that bark at you on your way, you will not reach your destination in time. And remember, you have 24 hours to provide for me to break my fast. Anasi left the palace very worried and thinking of how to get food for the king and the household. And just when he was approaching the biggest mahogany tree in the forest, he saw an animal called Sasa. And then he approached Sasa. Hello, my friend Sasa. And Sasa said, Hi, how may I help you? And Anasi said, Why are you responding to my greetings as if I am a commoner? Are you not aware that palace secretary? And said to himself, Then this make his life like a child's life, which is like a blank paper, which every passerby leaves a mark. Careful a bit, because a snake that will not run away from the hunter's knife might believe in his venom. Maybe he believes in something, that's why he's not running. But I must not be a coward. After all, the eyes of The frogs cannot prevent the cow from drinking water in the dam. Let me approach him. So he told him, let me tell you something very quickly. And then Sasa said, you have to do it quickly because I have to search for food. And Anas said, why do you prefer to speak childishly? We were talking about searching for food when I can provide you enough food in a silver platter of gold. And are you aware that it is only a fool who will break open a door when someone offers to open it for him free? And Sasa said, I don't understand. And I said, yes, let me tell you, I can help you to make your life better. You know, the king is now full of age and he will soon join the ancestral world. And as a secretary, he asked me to nominate the animals I think should occupy relevant positions in the palace. And as a good friend, I think I should nominate you as a palace accountant. So when I nominate you, we'll go for his approval. And Sasa said, I don't understand. How is it possible that a tree that is not above you can provide you with shade? How can a tiny thing like you provide me an employment? And Anas said, my brother, don't forget that it is not the hungry man that eats, but the one who has the food. Forget about my size and concentrate on your gains. The kings want to help you, and I want to help you too. And Sasa said, how can a stone enjoy a good relationship with the calabash? My mom once told me that one must not trust the lion until he is out of sight. I cannot go with you to the lion. And Anas said, my brother, you don't know. Lions at his age do not even have teeth to chew meat. So he successfully convinced Sasa, and Sasa agreed to follow him. And Sasa asked, so let's go, but is it far? And Anas said, a stranger who is looking for the way to the river must follow tours of broken calabash. Let's go. And for us, whether it is far or not, don't forget that a man to cross a river must not follow wetting his feet. Let's get going. So they started going. Just when they were entering the palace, and King Lion saw Sasa, and he remembered how sweet the head and the brain of Sasa is. He could not wait, and he rose and rushed to catch Sasa. And Sasa, as suspicious as he was, he took to his heels. He ran, and because King Lion was weak, his weak bones could not allow him to chase after Sasa. So Sasa escaped. And King Lion was annoyed because a hungry man is an angry man. And he turned to Anasi and he said, you idiot. Go away and remember, the 24 hours that I gave you is now left with 6 hours. And Anasi told the king, it is all your fault. If you had known the energy I have used to convince him to your palace, you will have exercised patience to enjoy him. And then he left sadly and with pain to continue his search for food for the lion. Unfortunately, Anansi met Sasa again, that very Sasa, and he was still panting from running and escaping from the death in the hands of the king. And he thought to himself that the best way is to go for Thanksgiving. After all, out alive, after going into the king lions, after going to lions' dens, it's a blessing. He must go for Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, he saw Anansi again. Sasa went and held Anansi in the neck tightly with his right hand and told him, the only price for your action is to pay with your life to save the lives of other innocent animals. And Anansi laughed. And Sasa said, what is funny? You're deaf? And Anansi said, no. I'm laughing because of the drama that you have displayed in the palace. You never told me that you were such good in dramatizing situations like this. Why should you play such a drama and you expect me not to get amused? And that's why I'm laughing. And Sasa said, the king to kill me and I escape. You're calling this a drama? And he said, my friend, you should have understand. The king, because of his age, is gradually losing his voice. He cannot speak to people at a longer distance. So he was getting closer to you to whisper into your ear the position you have to occupy in the palace. And unfortunately, you took to your heel. And that's why I am saying dramatize the situation. And Sasa said, my brother, you haven't told me all this. And don't forget that a handshake that goes beyond the elbow turns into a fight. The manner in which he rushed mean harm. So I have to run for my own safety. And Anansi told Sasa, now that you understand, let's get back so that he can tell you the position you occupy. Unfortunately for Sasa, he agreed again. And when they got to the palace, this time around, the lion took his time because he now understood that a person who is looking for a place to sleep must not reveal that he snores. So he gently held the hand of Sasa and successfully killed Sasa. After killing Sasa, he was appeased and applauded the work of Anansi. And he decided to take his bath before he enjoys the sweetness of Sasa. And when he was to go for the bath, he told Anansi to serve as a watchdog over the carcass of Sasa. The mouth must not relate to everything the eye sees. So, when he was taking the bath, Anansi remembered the story they are telling about the sweetness of Sasa's bread. Anansi told himself, a man is not rewarded for having a brain, but for using it. I must eat the brain of Sasa. So with the help of the royal sword by the king's stool, he cut open the head of Sasa and he ate up all the brain and he closed it back and was waiting. When the king finished his bath and came, as carnivore as he is, he knows where to tackle first. So he first went to the head, opened the head, and nothing was there. The brain was not there. So he asked Anansi, where is the brain? And Anansi said, Your Majesty, I don't understand. He said, where is the brain of Sasa? And Anansi said, Your Majesty, you have the entire body for yourself. After all, it is not the aroma of the food that tells whether the food is delicious or not. You have the entire body for yourself. You can enjoy. And believe me, Sasa has no brain. And the king got annoyed and he said, What? Do you think I'm eating Sasa for the first time? Don't tell me you ate it. And Anansi said, My king, Sasa is brainless. Come to think of this. Which animal with brain will agree to follow me back to your palace the second time after your failed attempt to kill it the first time? This justifies why I am saying Sasa has no brain. This god king lion annoyed and he rushed to kill Anansi. And Anansi quickly climbed to the rooftop with the webs that he designed, with the spider web that he designed. And he told King Lion, You are just a big fool. Your luxurious head is full and only know of wearing a cap. Don't forget that when you see a bird dancing in the middle of a path, there is a drama in the nearby bush. You are trying to kill me, forgetting that I have so many hideouts at your place. And the king said, Indeed, a person's character is like a pregnant. It can never be hidden. Now I have seen the true colors of you. And Anna said, It is good you know, and you should have known that earlier. Let me know the number of proverbs that you have learned in this video. Indeed, that's not all the proverbs in the book. I will create another video with the proverbs alone, and I will leave the link in the comment section. But let me know the number of proverbs you have learned and which one have you heard for the first time. Thank you very much for watching to the end, and please, and a big please, kindly subscribe to my channel for more inspirational videos. My name once again is Abdulaziz Issa. You can call me Moshi.